Here, do I involve the team when writing our business strategy? Very interesting question. So Sean, I will unmute you and see what's your thought. So there you go, Sean. You're unmuted. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah.
So what's your thought,
can you hear
Sean?
me?
How would you go about it?
Personally, I'm kind of inclined to write the strategy and then go through it with the team and get their input while sort of dealing with their objections or thoughts, so that basically I kind of let them think that they've been involved with the strategy while at the same time making sure it goes in the direction I want it to.
Okay, got it. So you will create a draft plan and then you will share it with them to see if there are any objections or any questions or any input that they might have, and then finalize it. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's good. Thanks, Sean. So is there a problem? Like, why do you have this question? Have you done that before? Or like, did you do that? So
no, because the thing is, people on the team, they, being a yoga business, they're all very kind of sort of opinionated on, the way that the business should be run, but a lot of them don't think about it like it's a proper business. So I think a lot of the time I try and implement stuff and people automatically think, oh no, that's not the right choice, that's not the right decision, and then I have to when I explain it to them and say, no, but have you thought about this, have you thought about that, and we can't do that because it's not sustainable and it's just going to cost money, then they go, oh yeah, no, I'm with you now. But so part of me doesn't really want to get them involved in the first stage because they'll be probably objecting to most of my ideas. Whereas if I kind of say to them, look, this is what I want to do and these are the reasons why I want to do it, they then might have some interesting input that maybe I haven't thought about that I could include, later, add on or add into the strategy, the framework of the strategy that I've put in place.
Got it. Understood. Makes sense. I understand the concern as well. There's a very interesting video which I will share with people on the call later on, and it's not a very clear video, but you can make out what's happening. So this is a person, a really wacky looking person, just like Sean, I think in Hyde Park or somewhere, right? So people are lounging, enjoying the sunshine, and this guy gets up, pretty much in his shorts, and then he just does some kind of wacky dance moves, okay, like wacky, you can imagine, just random throwing of hands, and he's just enjoying, and the music is playing, and he's just in his own world, okay, he's having a blast of time. And people are just sitting and everybody's like watching, and they're actually zooming in onto their faces, and they're like making faces saying, what's wrong with this weirdo, what is he trying to do? But this guy's like in his own world and dancing and enjoying, yeah. And then after a few minutes of being on his own and enjoying on his own, and people are making faces, this guy gets up, the second guy gets up and joins this first guy, and he's just following his rhythm and his moves, right? It's absolutely like completely wacky, just crazy stuff happening, okay? And then within minutes and within seconds, and you will watch that in the video, pretty much everyone sitting there in that park gets up and they're having a music fest with that music on and with that guy leading, okay? It's like everyone gets up and they're having a fantastic time together. Now, why I'm sharing this with you, the reason is that, yes, leader is required, and that's absolutely critical, someone who talks about the strategy and where we are heading and why we're doing what we're doing. But there's also a very important critical member in the team or members in the team, and they're called the first follower or first followers, okay? When you have the first follower rallying behind the leader, all of a sudden it gives a lot of confidence to the overall organization, overall team, and people start to rally behind that idea. Now, it's a nuance, but a very important one, and I'll share that video and you will watch it for yourself. It's a really interesting insight. Now, what that means there for Sean, and I'm just using your question as a wider question for everyone on the call, is I think leveraging collective intelligence is absolutely important, and one needs to have an open mind to say, I might be having blind spots. It's not about my ego. I actually want to see what is the intel. At the same time, you're not trying to leverage collective intelligence from day one, as I talked about this video. You want to identify who could be your potential first follower or first followers. What's the council you want to pay attention to? Okay, who are the people, the senior management team members who will then be working with their team and actually explaining why we're going about it? Or they might be the ones who actually say, no, this is not a good idea, let's come up with a better one, right? So you might want to position, as Amol was talking about, saying that this is what I'm working on, this is why I'm kind of working on this, these are my broad thoughts, just let's talk about this, okay? And you just brainstorm without getting fixated on one path or one strategy. And by the way, we also follow this. So I'm saying it because I'm absolutely aligned with what I'm talking about right now. So I would put it out there, gather some ideas, saying, guys, this is what I'm trying to work on. Take permission from my core team and say, would it be okay if I work on the draft and then I'll come back with you? Let's sit down and brainstorm. Would that be okay? And now they know that, okay, she's the one who's taking the workload. She's going to go back and think about it. You go back, think about it. And then as Jamie said, you bring it back to the table and you discuss with your core council team, your first followers, potential followers, or people who will add huge value by even negating the idea or strategy. So that's when you're discussing, and everything might be like, oh, what's the point? These guys are all negative. But as Jamie very rightly said, that 1 or 2 points that arise out of that discussion can really change the overall strategic approach, or might just give you more confidence that this is right. Once you do that, now this is another critical point for all the leaders on the call, is that, look, and again, Amol knows this because I use this very often with him, saying that, and just reminders for ourselves, saying that when you have the right content, and that's shared with the right person at the right time with the right context, it's very powerful. I'm talking about 4 things: content, time, the right person, and the right context. When you do that, it's beautiful, it's powerful. But when that one of the elements of these 4 bits are missing, it can really go wrong. What I'm therefore saying is that our idea is not to share with everyone the content. Let's be democratic and we all have to be agreeing to what we're doing. That's not my approach of running a business. I'm very clear on that. As a leader, sometimes you have to take a call, you commit to something and you move forward, but you want to rally as many people as possible. But more importantly, make sure you're not having a blind spot. You're committing to the right path. Now for that, which means the leader is also a good filter. It doesn't mean that you share everything with everyone at any given point of time. You need to know what will they do with that information. If it's not relevant to them, hold back. Discuss only with a close group of people who can add that value or have a wider perspective. Share it with them, validate it with them, and then let's start sharing with the wider organization. At that time, it's not so much idea generation or do you agree with that. At that time, it could be, this is what we're doing. This is what we're committing to. We're sharing with you. If there's something obvious we've missed out, let us know. But this is a decision that we have come about. Now, you will see there's a change in the languaging. There's a change in the style as you approach the wider organization. But at the beginning, make sure that you have some people. It could be your coach, it could be your partner, it could be some key team members who are making sure that you're not having a blind spot. You're not getting stuck in your ego, or with whom you can just talk very freely. What's your core agenda, core objective? What are you trying to achieve? And therefore, what's the best path? It could just be that 3 years down the line, you want to be somewhere else. You don't want to be working X number of hours. And therefore, how can they help you achieve that without impacting the business and the value that it's generating, as in the impact that it's generating? Yep. So I hope that helps. I've shared some management principles here because we forget. Sometimes we all want to be democratic. We want to be filterless and share everything, but it doesn't really help the organization. It just confuses people because they don't have the full context, wherein you might have the full context. So again, just layering it properly and deciding properly at what time, when, what content, what people, what time, what context. That's the key thing.